So good day everyone and welcome to today's class. So today we are going to talk about what? Today we are going to talk about practice management. And this particular area we're going to look at it from two approach. So in today's class is just going to be basically on the theoretical part. What in the what in the next class then we'll be looking at the words, some of the past question relating to what? Relating to practice management. And in practice management deal with how accountancy firm obtain what, how accountancy firm obtain engagement. In terms of just like a word as let's say for example, KPMG as an example now. How does accountancy what firm obtain what engagement? And basically, accounting firm can obtain engagement from we have what we call what you can advertise is a way. We can also do what now? We can also do tendering is also a way of what of obtaining engagement. We can also obtain engagement through what we call what introduction, or sometimes we call it what referral. So please don't forget what we are trying to what we are trying to talk about in practice management is how accountancy firm obtain what engagement in terms of how do you get client to what for you to able to do some tasks for them. So the way we are going to approach this particular part is in two. So today's class is just going to focus on the word. We'll focus on what are the theoretical parts, and in the words. In the next class, we'll look at the words. In the next class, we are going to look at some of the practice questions relating to what to practice what management. So don't forget, when we talk about practice management, the words, the key things in words in practice management is about what how accountancy framework obtain engagement in terms of what how do you work, how do you get work. That is just basically. And from our syllabus here, we'll be looking at what basically what two things, which is about what you advertising your work is a way, and another thing is also what true word introduction. We also have another one true word true tendering. So basically, practice management come from what? From these three angles. And don't forget, practice management deal with how accountancy firm obtain what? How accountancy firm obtain engagement. And you can obtain engagement through what? Advert, which we are going to be looking at what? You are allowed to what? To advertise your work. But every word, every jurisdiction have their own words, have their own code. So there's a code from the word from the regulator, and there's also some code that the ACCA would advise their member when they are advertising their word, their professional word service. And one of the code that is coming from word from ACCA now is about what you don't discredit others. You don't discredit others during your word, your advert that, oh, maybe you are the best in that particular word situation. No, you don't discredit others. Another thing is that whatever the local regulation is, every jurisdiction, I'm very, very sure that maybe some of us you are in, there's already there's a regulation, which maybe maybe to some of us in Nigeria now, then that is what maybe by NBC. Maybe some of us that are from work, maybe in UK now, there's what Ofcom, which is what Ofcom basically what they deal with the regulatory part of work. If you want to advertise it, some of the word the broadcasting word company as well, it regulated. So every word, every environment have some of the things that you need to comply when you're advertising your work. So that is the main thing. And the second one is on tendering. And in tendering, we'll be looking at one concept called what? Low billing, which simply means that, let's say, for example, now, audit firm one is saying that, oh, I'm going to do this particular tax for you for, let's say, for 10 million pounds as an example. B is what he's saying, I'm going to do it for two. Then I'm not coming in and say that, oh, I'm going to do it for two. I can reduce my word now. I can reduce my fees with the purpose of what? With the purpose of winning the engagement. I can reduce my fees with the purpose of what? Of obtaining engagement. So the professional body does not have anything bad about that. But one thing that you have to make sure is what you have to make sure that you perform a good work. You have to make sure you perform a good work. You won't say because you are charging the client a little bit of amount, then that will affect your audit practice. So in regardless of the amount that you call, then it should not affect your quality. And that's what we discussed in the last class, which is about the quality management. And quality management exists at two levels. It exists at maybe at individual level, and it also exists at the firm level. So introduction, and please just from the general overview as well, if you want, maybe someone refer you as or organization, please, you shouldn't pay them a referral bonus. So that is one of the regulatory parts that, okay, let's say, for example, you have some friend in another organization. So I cannot inform you now that, okay, if I refer you to so one of my friend, you are going to pay me You are going to pay me maybe 10%. So the regulation would disallow this. We should not as an audit firm, you should not pay any referral bonus. That is one of the critical things here. You should not you should not pay any referral bonus. So the first thing that we now need to look at is, we talk about we say that practice management basically deal with how you obtain engagement. But the first question that we need to ask now is, why do you change auditor? And I think let's make it interactive. It is more than it is more than this. Now, I think it is more than this. So every organization there are some reason why you are going to change your auditor, maybe due to regulation. And there are some that is going to be based on complaint policy. Some complaint policy can say that, every 3 years, we need to change our auditor. That is their policy. That is the management statement. So there are a lot of there are a lot of reasons why you can change your auditor. Some can be as a result of which is the most important thing we'll be looking at. Let's look at it from the angles of the complaint policy. Organization policy can say that, every 4 years, then we need to bring in another practitioner. Another one, which is very, very common sometimes, is about the reduction in fees. There are some time whereby even due to your changes in structure, maybe due to changes in organization structure, you feel that you can no longer due to some certain regulation, especially changes in your ownership. I know a company whereby they are, I think this is a public company as well. It's part of national There's a, let me call it, how am I going to call it? There's a company called National Grid. And in National Grid, there's a company under National Grid called, basically, we call them NESO. They are operator. So this company National Grid is a private company. But this company now called the National Energy System Operator. So the system operator now was now acquired by the government. So as a result of now, if some of us know, if you are a company listed in US, there's a particular their corporate governance is different. And there are some things that you need to do based on the corporate governance. And one of the things is, some of us remember XOX, Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So as a result of now, let's say I'm using KPMG to perform the audit of now, the audit of this NESO, which is the system operator. But due to the fact now that, this company is no longer part of National Grid, is now being controlled by government. So, and as a result of being controlled by the government now, there are some particular tasks that you are going to do previously. So maybe as the auditor, I used to help them in filing of the internal control that is required by the US corporate governance. because the ultimate parent is listed in the what? In the US stock markets. So as a result of now, let's say you are charging them what? Let's say you are charging them 100, let's say 10 million, for example. As a result of you charging them what? 10 now, but due to the fact that they are no longer part of the group, and there are some tasks that you are doing, there are some audit service that you are doing that they are no longer what? The company does not what need that again. So I can say that, okay, well, I have to do what now? You have to reduce the fees. Or if the fees is not what is not reduced, then we have to change what auditor. Because one, this is not a public sector organization now. And in public sector, at least maybe some of us, there's a national audit office. So the national audit office is the one in charge of what doing the audit of what of public sector. So I may not require what now? I may not require KPMG to do the audit for me anymore. And I can still be asking them to do it. Maybe the National Audit Office can second it. But the fees is going to what? If the firm does not agree to reduce the fees, then they have to go. So another thing is also what dispute on words, let's say dispute on financial what matters. There are some time whereby if you give them some words, some audit journal, the client can disagree. And they are the owners of the word of the number. They owns the number. It's just like, for example, and maybe in your organization, and you guys have a shared service center. If you have a shared service center, let's say some of the journal during your month end, you send it to the shared service center, you create a ticket, and they will do the posting for you. You guys use the number. If there's anything happen, maybe the management is requesting for certain information, the board is requesting for certain information, you are the owner of the number. So if there's a dispute now, that can also cause changes in in audits. Oh, maybe some of the audit journal that the auditor is saying, they are not words. The organization is not words. It's not going to work. We are not going to pass that audit journal. And as a result of that, that can cause a dispute that the auditor will have to go. Another thing is also word size. I think I've used a certain word on this national words energy system operator as an example. The size is no word. Like for example, this company is part of National Grid, but now is no longer part of National Grid. So you as the world, by the time we are talking about what group audit, the fees is going to reduce because when we prepare the consolidated account of National Grid, this particular company is what is part of it before, but now is no longer. So that can also cause due to what the changes in the size of the word of the organization, the changes in in the group structure, then that can also cause as a result of reason for changing. And it can also serve as a reason that, the client can suggest to you now, no, please, you have to reduce your audit fees because there are some of the subsidiary that we have before, they are no longer part of the word, they are no longer part of the group. Then another reason, which is, I can call this as number 5, is the word appointment of a group auditor. Appointment of a group auditor. If some of us remember, at least we have in our normal SBR, we have the consolidated financial statement. So the group auditor have the ultimate control. So let's say, for example, now in group audits, which we are still going to talk about, we have 2 types of auditor in group. There's what we call the component auditor, and there's also what we call the group auditor. So the component auditor is the auditor of the subsidiary or maybe the joint ventures or maybe the associates. Any other auditor that is different from the parent, then we call it a component auditor. The auditor of the parent company is the group auditor. So any other auditor that is different from the group auditor is the component auditor. So it can be at the joint ventures, it can be at the associates. So If a group auditor is what is being appointed now, that can lead to what? To dismissal of some what? That can lead to dismissal of some of the component auditor. Because the group auditor is like, how can I word? Is like the head. So the component auditor, they are reporting to the group auditor. The component auditor are reporting to the what? To the group auditor. So if the group auditor say otherwise, it can advise the client, then they have to leave. That can be another reason for what? For changes in what? In auditor. Then another thing which is at the word at the audit firm level is this word number 6. The firm has stopped offering what? Audit service. The firm has stopped what? The firm has stopped offering what? Audit service. So another thing is that well, the client can work, they're satisfied with what with the auditor work. If they are not worth, if they are not getting value, because audit is what? Audit is value. It's a value addition process. So if the client are not worth, if they are not, they feel that oh, they are not satisfied with that, then they will ask the auditor to what to leave. Then another thing which is also possible is that what the firm sees to what the audit firm sees trading. Anything can happen. There are some audit firms that well, you know before, if you check very well, maybe like 10 years ago, they are no longer in business, or some of them what they have merged together. So these are some of the reason why you can change auditor. Don't forget, the purpose of today's class is just to talk about the theoretical part of it. The main from the word from the exam is the practice question. But these are some of the reason. These are what we are talking about now is about the generic understanding of it. Then before we start the question as well. So these are some of the reason why auditor can be auditor can be changed. Sometimes there can also be step down as well. Audit firm may not seek to reappoint. That is also possible. So it's not as if you change me, just like a normal employee as well. You can we can resign. So auditor can also resign as well. No. So you can decide to step down, and that is also what if you feel that your independence issue cannot be safeguarded. That is the safeguard that you introduce is not solving the problem. Then the best thing for you is to leave. Just like a normal employee, if you feel that your mental health is very, very important to you. So if anything is not going on fine, then you can leave the organization and go. So same thing to the auditor as well. A doubt regarding the integrity of of the company management is also another reason. Your independence is what is threatened. The strategic decisions to concentrate on other service or the market. Oh, we don't want to work, for example, now in audit firm, we have different service. There are some people that maybe in the FSI, they can have the word energy and natural resources. So let's say, for example, now at least national grid, I'm using as an example now, it would be under energy and natural resources. So the organization can decide now that we don't want to offer we don't want to offer any service to client in now in energy and natural resources. I want to move to the CS. I want to move to consumer and say consumer market. So that is also can also be another reason why the auditor can leave, then the client will have to to look for another people. So please don't forget, these are some of the reasons why there can be a changes in auditor. But don't forget, what is the overall things that we are trying to talk about is practice management. And I want you to please don't forget, practice management deal with how accountancy firm obtain engagement. So we are starting with the first one now, which is tendering. And this is from my own little personal experience, this is the most popular one, whereby the client will invite you. Oh, please, I want you to be our auditor. Come and do a presentation for us. Just like, for example, now maybe you want to engage in certain building. So you can invite different people that, okay, I want to construct this particular building, and please, how much is it going to cost? So you can invite different engineer. So same thing, the client can also invite different people as well. So tendering is a process of quoting a fee for work before the work is being carried out. Most tender include a formal written document supported by a presentation. We'll go to the client office and we'll present to them, or maybe sometime, maybe on Microsoft Teams like this. Send them the link and let them join. So what are some of the matters that we need to consider before tendering? Because it's very, very important. Before we go for tendering, we used to do what we call due diligence. One of the due diligence before tendering is like, let's say for example now, you send a proposal to us now. And the proposal is that, okay, at least I work for KPMG, so let's work now. I want you guys to be my auditor. Okay, that's fine. So now, the next thing that we are now going to do now is to request from certain information from you. And one of the most important documents that we are going to request for is your memorandum and articles of association. Those are the two most important documents. Especially, let me just call it, especially your legal documents. That is the first thing. Before I'll start doing my presentation, I received a contact from you now. I should provide the words. You should give me some, okay, come and do a presentation. You want to appoint me as as your auditor. Okay. Before we do that, we request for some certain information from you as well. So any information that deal with your complaint registration will also be verified. Then another thing that we also request for is your key management staff. So we can request for the company document, your key employee, key profile about them. Who is your director? If you're able to provide a list of us. And one thing, once we receive those, we can also go to the regulator website. We can also go to the regulator website and check. And I'm very sure maybe to some of us in Nigeria, I think there's a corporate affairs commission. So you can do you can go to their website and check where they are and check the details about the director. It's going to be online, even in the West as well. You only see it. So I have a copy of your company document. I know another thing we can also you can request for, maybe their 5 years financial 5 years financial statement, if possible. Your historical financial statement, along with the audit report. So we don't just go. And that's one thing you have to be careful of from the exam perspective. You don't just receive and you do you start doing a presentation. No, you also need to request for certain information from them. You need to know them. Where are you? What business are you doing? What sector are you? What problem are you trying to solve? So when invited to tender, a firm must decide whether it wishes to take part in the tendering process. Specific risk of being involved is a waste of time. That's the most annoying one. At the end of the day, you will not be selected. Setting uncommercial fees in order to win the contracts. And that's why maybe some of us, you remember, maybe in your if you are doing in your previous study, let's say at the elementary level in performance management, you could have been talking about what do we used to call this? Make or buy, under marginal costing. Sometimes, but before you work, there's some time whereby you will be thinking, okay, should you go or you should not? So the audit firm is also going to be in this situation. Because, for example, now, just like some of us who know, if I'm going to perform the audit for them, I'm going to need, let's say, engagement partner, the director, senior manager, and some of the associates. Let's say we are 10. And the audit is going to take 2 months. Their financial statement ended in March. So before May ending, before 30th of May, we want to send the audit report to them. So these people now, this 10 engagement team now, from P1 to what now to P2, let's say from period 1 to period 2 now, all your salary and everything will be capitalized to this particular engagement. It will be capitalized to this particular engagement. Let's say your salary and every other thing, we calculate everything together, is now 500. The partner, the director is 500. But let's say the fees that we are not charging them now is what is low. So that is what we call the word, the low words, the low balling words, which we are going to talk about later. And another thing is that what, I don't know, maybe some of us, let me also hear from you. What do you think is the reason why you do such? The total cost that you're going to incur, both the salary for the team for that 2 months is going to be 500. And let's say you're not charging the client 300. So you're not even break even. You're making a loss in that engagement. Why do you think that word audit firm will want to do that? Anybody, please, mute yourself. Say something, please. Why? How do you go for a low billing strategy? Anybody? And Eze, I think you're here. Yanolua, can you say something, please? What do you think is the word a firm words will engage in such a low billing? What's the reason?
Not because they're anxious to get the engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, any other point? Yano, can you say something, please? Very good environment. Any other reason? Anybody? Why do you think so? And another thing is, okay, anybody? Just think of it.
Yeah.
Why do you? Okay, good afternoon. Sorry, good evening.
I just feel they just want to for them to, I'm muting myself. Just for them to be recognized and then considered the contract.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. What do you think? Anything else? Just think of it. And that's why, please, I want us to please.
Or
Okay.
maybe because they are not competent enough and they feel they charge lower, they might the firm
No,
might be
remove
forced to leave them.
remove that competence now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
there are a lot of reasons. They are competent. Yeah, at least they are certified maybe by ACCA or whatever the regulator is. They can carry out the engagement. So there are a lot of reasons why you can charge them no. And one of the things that my brain is thinking of now is maybe you don't have the experience of that market before. There's some time whereby maybe majority of our clients is in FSI, the financial sector. And I don't have any listed client in the consumer. So if someone from consumer if a client in the consumer approach me now, let's say all those the Unilever, and I don't have the experience of consumer sector before. That can push me to accept Unilever, despite that, oh, I'm not even going to break even. It's going to be a loss. So that is also one of the motives that can make you to have the experience. And we can also do this low billing strategy in order for us that, oh, maybe later in the long run, at least if I do audit for you today and everybody is happy, the finance team, nobody complain, next time you guys are going to recommend me to what to come. And then I cannot do what now? I cannot increase my fees. Because the difficult engagement is usually the first time. It's meeting ourselves for the work for the first time. But by the time you work, we have contact with you and we do a good job. Like there's high probability that you're likely going to want to give us other work in the next coming year. So there's a lot of reason, but the regulator does not want, we don't care about how much you are charging. But please, from the quality management that we discussed in the previous section, is about you doing a good work, in regardless of how much you are charging them. So those are some of the things that you need to consider. Making a realistic plan or promise in order to want to win the contract. Those are some of the things. So, but whether his word, it is left to the audit firm to assess, but don't make a word a promise that you cannot deliver. Don't do a bad job in regardless of the word, the amount that you're charging them. That is our own concern here. Is to do a word, is to do a good work. And what are some of the information required when you're doing the word, the proposal? These are some of the things that you need to do when you are developing the presentation word document. One is, I said the presentation for an engagement proposal document is an important step in obtaining the engagement. To be honest, it's a very, very important word task. Because sometimes, even though we have the competency is there, but sometimes if the presentation is not worth, just like for example, maybe during the interview sometime, there are some people that are very, very worth. The competencies is what is there. They have the qualification, but maybe something just happened on the day of the interview. They did not really work, they did not really perform very well. So this is also like our own word as the accountancy firm. This is also like our own word, our own interview as well. So prior to drafting the word, any proposal, an audit firm should consider the following. When you are doing the word, you are bringing up the presentation document. These are some of the things that we need to consider. One, what does the potential client expect from this word from the auditor? Do they want us to perform any other service? Or basically just the financial statement? Then another one is that what timetable does the client expect? Are we going to do entire? And we're also going to do the final. Or they only need final. So these are some of the things that we need to get from them. By which date are the audited financial statements required to be available? And in most jurisdiction, it's usually It's usually 3 months after the year ended. So meaning now that, if you use 31st of December, then before 31st of March, ideally, your audited financial statement should be out. Maybe you are using any other day, but 3 months should be fine. What are the company future plan? That's also another thing. Are they listed? Or are they trying to maybe in the next 2 years, they want to work, they want to go public? What is their expansion strategy? Which market are they serving? So these are there any passive problem with the potential client, current auditor? Those are some of the things we need to do. And we'll talk about that very soon now, because there has to be a communication between the existing auditor and we that we are trying to come in. Why? Why do you need our service? Don't you have auditor before? The format required from the by the prospective client, in terms of how do you want us to do the presentation? Do you want us to come to office, maybe physically or maybe otherwise? So these are these are the information that we need to consider prior. And please don't forget this point, because there's a lot of past question on this area, practice management. To be honest, practice management and internal control is a very, very important area in your exam. Just like the way your number 1 is, which is on risk assessment. These are information that you need to consider prior to preparing your presentation slide. And these are some of the content. There are more. And if I have time sometime, I can check my drive and send out some of the words, how it looks like. The fees and how it's going to be calculated. And you see, on the fees part, we can even make it worse. There's some time whereby we are going to say that, okay, the fees will increase. We can have a clause that if you are delaying the audit, you pay us more. Because as the auditor, I need it's like if I send you a mail, I need the response from you. So let's say, for example, now, you're supposed to work now you're supposed to reply. Auditor send you a certain mail now. Maybe in the next 2 working days, I need a reply from you. But if it is not taking work, if it's not taking a long period of time, then it means that, let's say, for example, now I need information about your FAR, your fixed asset register. And based on our own plan, we have set that, okay, before we start an engagement, there's already all the strategic memorandum. Our audit was strategic memorandum document that will show that, oh, this is the area that we are going to work. This is the expected date that we are supposed to work to complete it. And we have a timetable as well. That, oh, this engagement, we should complete it within 4 weeks. We should complete it within 6 weeks. So sometimes when you send a mail to some of the clients, especially when some mail bounce back that, oh, I'm not on leave. Okay, if you are not on leave, then the next thing is that who is the next person that we need to contact to get that information from. So, but a good internal control will solve that. And that's why sometimes as an auditor as well, before we even start, we need to assess their internal control. There are some big engagement whereby even before we go, we are going to ask them that we want to have interaction with their internal auditing. Because I want to use a risk space, but there's no any audit that you want to conduct. You will always interact with the internal audit. And if the internal audit team are very, very well, they have the experience and their competence, it will make the work to be very, very easy. So for us to assess the internal audit team, we can look for what are the professional qualification of your internal audit team. What is their level of experience? You look at their reports. So by looking at some of these things, we're able to determine the competence of your internal audit team. And if your internal audit team are competent, then that will be good. And that's why even sometimes there are some public sector organization that was, sometimes there are some public sector organization that their internal auditor is not employee of that organization. So like they have a body that the internal audit is. Especially, and this one usually occur in public sector. In public sector, sometimes you can have office of the Auditor General. There are some public sector, especially, I think, I'm very sure in the UK, they have internal audit, which is like a separate agency. I think what's the way to call themselves? This is what I'm talking about. So I have one, I think it's GIA or something. Government Internal Audit Agency. So is like, and is a very, very very, very good start, whereby for example, now some of us, you remember, we used to say that internal auditor are not independent. So these are some of the way in which this government is trying to make their internal auditor to be independent. Because meaning now that this agency now can just say that AZ, you go to to Ministry of Transport. For example, you'll be very, very free because I'm not an employee of Ministry of Transport. And if this particular agency now, they are in your department, then they give you a certain audit query. The way they are going to respond to it will be very, very fast compared to if that employee is within your organization, because you know that if this one give you a certain task to do now and you guys are not responding, it's taking it to the central level, because this one operates at the central level, not at the departmental level. So to enhance their public sector governance, some government also introduces. So how are we going to calculate the fees? Propose audit partner and key audit team. How many partners are you going to have? Most of the time, so you have to. Maybe you can have two. Most time is one. So the composition will also show them the profile of our engagement team. that, oh, this is our partner. You have over 20 years of experience in this. This is our director. So all those words, all those information you provide is, oh, this is our what senior manager. This is the manager. These are the associates. So all those information will be what it will be presented. The capacity of the audit partner to commit a sufficient time to the audit. We are only going to show them how the time that we are going to use. And that's when it comes to fees. I can say that, oh, we are going to use what? Let's say, for example, we are going to work for them at 37 hours per week. Then since we are going to use what now? Since we are going to use 6 weeks, then we multiply that, oh, this is the level of hours that we are going to use. Then the partner now, this is for one individual. So the partner can say that, okay, I'm going to commit what? Maybe the partner is going to just use like so hour. So all those information, you're also going to present it to the client. So relevant experience of the world of the industry, we can also add it. That, oh, we have history of what on this so sector. We can even show them that, oh, in financial sector, if we look at the listed company, we have what? We can even tell them, well, we have 6%, or we have 40% of the world of the client that is listed under the financial sector industry. We are their auditor. So some of the big profile of the world of the company will also be embedded in the words when we are doing the presentation. So there's a lot of words, there's a lot of things that words you include ability of the firm to bring insight and add value, because that's the audit. It's about what? It's about value addition. So what are you going to do for us? So we'll tell them, we are going to work to help you to work to improve your internal control, because that's the best. That's a big benefit that you can give any client is improvement in their internal control. No control is 100% correct, but we can improve on it. And the way we can improve on it is we understand your business. So once you understand something, let's say, for example, now you're an accountant. Every month, there's a particular journal I'm used to put. Let's say journal 500 at working day 1, working day 2. So if you are posting what now, journal 5 now at working day 2, and you have been doing it consistently for like, let's say 2 months now, or maybe 3 months, then through that understanding that you have now that, oh, you are the process owner, then you should be able to work to look for, oh, is there a better way I can do this thing? But it is the understanding. And that's why, if you remember, at least when we are going on now, before we assess an engagement, there must be 2 things that must be present. One, you must understand the entity, and the second one is you must understand the industry as well. Very soon we'll be talking about what ISA 300. ISA 300 deal with what? Planning. So when you are planning as well, that is under syllabus section words C. When you're planning, ISA 300 required for you to be able to develop an effective plan. What? Understanding of the world of the business is important. Understanding of their world of their industry is also very, very important. And that's why ISA 315 is also coming in. Understanding the business and its environment. 315. So what approach are you going to use? We are also going to communicate that to them. Or we are going to use what? And basically in audit, is that you're going to use a system base. You're going to use a risk base. If it is a small organization, we to use what? Statement of financial statement approach. So, but basically, at least nowadays, it should be what? Risk base. System base is what? Will focus on what? On internal control. Risk base will focus on what? On business risks. So that is the proposed approach to your audit methodology. Sometimes we call it audit methodology, we can call it audit approach, or we can also call it audit strategy. And that's one of the first things we do in planning. In planning now, you have accepted an engagement. The next thing that we need to look at now is about what the task that you have accepted. How are you going to deliver? How? That's what the next thing. How are you going to deliver? How are you going to be able to want to do it? So one thing we need to give answer to is what method are you going to use to carry out that particular task? What method are you going to use? That's the first thing you need to determine at the planning as well. What method are you going to use? So it's also going to be part of our work. It's also going to be part of the content that we are going to display to the client. There's a lot of work. So I have a word now. I have a certain things like which I want every one of us to let's discuss together. And there are two things, which is number one is what is the word is the benefit, and number two is the word is the drawback. I guess please try. Just think of it. What is the benefit of reward of tendering? It's a tax. Let's discuss it together. What do you think is the benefit? Anybody? Just think of it. You can look at it from these two angles. What is the benefits to the client? And even you can also look at it from our own angle as the world as a practitioner. What's the benefit? Anybody? Just think of it now. What do you think? Okay, go ahead, please. Thanks.
Like from the firm perspective,
Mhm.
it allows the firm to have no, okay, firm as in the company that is
No,
engaging the auditor
anyway.
now. Okay,
Okay.
it gives him the opportunity to be able to compare different firm and see who they are going to choose on something to do the job.
Okay, that's fine. Any other one? At least this is from the word from the fame perspective or comparison. That's cool. What do you think would be the benefit as well? Yeah, do you want to say anything? Thank you.
Yeah, I would say it's going to reduce over familiarity and also improve transparency as well.
Please, can you explain further that improve transparency? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, due to the trying to what's it called? Trying to get the client.
Yeah.
Trying to engage in the client's proposal due to the
Yeah.
proposal. Yeah. So like I mentioned, it's going to reduce familiarity. So when it reduces familiarity, is the client doesn't the client doesn't have there is no it's going to be a client the practitioner based relationship, and as such they will want to be transparent to the client to the auditor, like you mentioned when you ask for maybe for the financial report, due to the like they don't have any relationship, they'll be able to respond very fast. And as such, they want to ensure that they are accountable and transparent in whatever they are going to present to the practitioner.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, man. I do appreciate that. Yeah. And anybody else? Look at it from the two angle. Okay, that's fine. Transparency. And the transparency, if I'm right, please you can correct me. You're looking at it from the angles of the firm level as well, right? Because sometimes, even in public sector, there are some tasks that it must be what? It must be too tendering. Especially in public sector, I'm very sure majority part of the government, they have a procurement policy. And the procurement policy usually will advocate for open tendering, whereby is a really word. Let me not say it. So from my own perspective, Marshall, that government does what, let's say government want to do something and they just award it to certain contractor. That is against the procurement policy. Unless especially if it is of higher value. It should be what? It should be true public, whereby okay, different people will what will bring it. Oh, I'm going to do this thing for you for 5,000. I'll do this. So that is how at least some things in what in government should be. At least that's what maybe what Ian was trying to say in terms of what transparency. So if someone asks me that, okay, will you go for this guy? Why? Everybody was invited. And maybe some of us, especially what let's say we grew up in what in Nigeria, there's some time whereby you read it on the newspaper that they will even advertise it. Whereby if you want to do this thing, maybe on newspaper, you should submit your words. Even there are some words I can remember during my undergraduate, they want to change bossa. They'll have to do what? They'll have to advertise it that okay, we are looking for words. We are looking for a new bossa. So if you have the experience, please submit your work. Maybe you should submit like 10 copy of your you submit 10 copy of your CV and some of those things. So even some appointments in what in public sector, it require what? It require tendering. So thanks so much. And what do you not think will be a big drawback? Well, let me take it from the simple one. If you are not what, your time, if you are not accepted, is a drawback because it's not tendering that you win. It's not. So that's one of the words, the drawback. Can anybody think of it? Another one. And yeah, no, can you say something? What would be the drawback? Like, oh, you guys go and I think apart from you're not being selected, what else again? At least the drawback now in terms of what not being selected, this is from the word from the practitioner perspective. Is there any drawback from the fame? I don't know. Can you guys say something? Let's interact together. Is there any drawback? They also have time now, Abby, because they have to what? Let's say you can imagine now, you invite what? You invite, let's say, 5 contractor. No, you have to book the time for them. So you booking time that oh, this one will come on today, this one will come tomorrow. So your time as well. So this time can be from what? From the two perspective, maybe at the firm or maybe from the work from you as a practitioner. Anybody else? What do you think? Because my brain is not even saying anything. So what do you guys think as the word as a disadvantage? Anybody? Just think of it. I'm also thinking as well. So let's go. So the next one is what is advert. You can advertise and publicity is very, very what? You can advertise as well. But maybe some of us, you may feel that it is not common. But accountancy firm is what is allowed to advertise. You are allowed to what? You are allowed to advertise your what? You are allowed to advertise your work. But
So are there exemptions to this advertisement? Because I think from my past knowledge, I think they are not allowed to advertise.
no, they are allowed, but there
Okay.
is a word. There's a certain word. There's a certain things that they need to do. So, and this is the rule, and that's why I changed the color. The rule said that advert and promotion material should not be. So they are allowed, but subject to what? Subject to these various what? Various conditions. So one, bring what ACCA into what or discredit the members of the word of the firm. You shouldn't what? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't. Anything that will work, that's why we say don't discredit what you don't discredit other. Don't worry, don't discredit others. One, discredit the service offered by others. Please. Nothing like that. You don't discredit what that oh you are the best. No, there's no best here. Because is the word the regulation is what? The regulation is the same. The regulation is what the regulation is the same. So you should not advertise your work and say that oh I'm the one, I'm the best. No, no, no. It shouldn't be that way. It should not what it shouldn't be. The next one is what be misleading. That you just work. There are some things that you can't do, then you say that you do it. No. Then the next one is that what fall short of the requirement of any what any local what any local regulation. Any word, any local word regulation. Whatever any word, any regulation any regulation is what it's saying. That oh, as the auditor, if you want to advertise, and I'm very sure every government have what every government of the world will have something relating to what to advert. That oh, when you are doing your advert, these are some of the what these are some of the things that you need to comply with. So whatever the regulation that is coming from the word, whatever the regulation that is coming from the government, then please, as a word now, as a accountancy firm, we need to what? We need to make sure that we comply with that word. With that. So the ACCA rule books, and this one is just from the copy. It says that it is acceptable in principle for ACCA member to advertise their service, but there's a requirement that the word the advertising must not reflect adverse on the member, an ACCA, or the accountancy world, the accountancy profession as a whole. So that is one of the words, the key word. That is one of the key requirement. You shouldn't discredit what ACCA that oh, maybe you perform a bad job and they'll be writing letter to ACCA now is these people your member, or things that is going to what that is going to discredit what other. So you should know what. And I think give me some few seconds, please. Just give there's a particular question from past question. Relating to what to advert. So please now from the exam, please what you need to try as much as possible. So please don't forget is that when you are giving question now, when you are giving question on advert, please, the most important thing is about what? The most important thing is for you to please know this word, know this rule. That you are allowed to what? You are allowed to advertise your work, but subject to what? Subject to certain things. So advert is what? Is allowed, but please, you should know what? Don't discredit what? Don't discredit others. Don't discredit others. That is the word, the most important word. That is the most important thing. So please, just give me some word. Let me look for that particular question. Just give me some few seconds. Please, can you guys see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we can.
can see.
Okay, so now you have the word now. I think this is a word. I think you can note it down as well. This is December word. This is December 20 word. This is December 2015, question 40 from the word. This one, although they are from the whole syllabus, but the question is still what? It's still fine, still applicable. So now, what we are asked to do now, is evaluate each of the word issue, describe word above, commenting on the word on the ethical words, ethical and professional issue, and recommend any action necessary in response to the word to the issue that you have identified. So we are giving word now. We are giving this particular question now. So let's look at it together. Let's say you are a manager in Montco, a firm of word accountant, which has 12 office and 30 partners. So it's a big firm as well. 10 of whom are word members of word of ACCA, as can expert in word in ethics and word and professional word conduct. You have been asked to advise the party on the following issue, which were raised in the recent meeting. 1. An advertisement has been drafted as part of the word the firm drive to increase the numbers of clients. It is suggested that it should be placed in numbers of word quality national and as well as the word local word newspaper. So please, for 7 mark now, can you guys say something about this? Is it good? Should I send it out? But hold on, don't stress yourself because it's a very simple area. Don't forget the rule. The rule book is saying that, but the requirement is that advert should not what? Should not reflect adversely on the member, the ACCA, or the accountancy profession. The second thing is that the rules say that adverts and promotional material should not bring ACCA into dispute, discredit the service offered by others, be misleading, and fall short of the word, the requirement of any national word advice standard authority. So this one is what now is locally. Each government have it. I'm very sure that if you want to advertise, there's a particular government department that you need to visit. They will give you approval. So now, based on this now, we now have a 7 mark what? We have a 7 mark now. What do you think? And I think we can even work. And yeah, should I send it out? Okay, let's read it together. This is what I want to send out. Have you had enough of your accountant? Have you had enough of your accountant charging you too much for work for poor quality service? Wow. Does your business need a kickstart? Look no further. Montenco provide the world the most comprehensive range of finance and accountancy service in the country, and as well as having the leading world tax team in the country, who are just waiting to save you money. Still not sure? We guarantee to be cheaper than your existing service provider. And for the month of January, we are offering free business advice to all new Audit clients. Drop in and see us.
That's funny.
So if you will drop in and see us at your local office for a free consultation. So what do you guys think? Is it bad? Or is it good? I think so. Let me watch. I think I have some. Like this. So Now, let me just think. Let me just try to open a new one. Okay, so now, I want you guys to see something. So, please, just so that let me try to arrange my screen. I can't close now. I can't close that down. I don't need it. So let me share back. So maybe let's put some things down now. So we have this question. Please, can you guys? Is it okay this way? Don't worry. I'll whatever any work file I'm using, I'm going to work. I'm going to send it to you guys. So what I just need is your attention on these words on this matter. So can you guys see it, please? Is it okay from at least viewing it? Hello? Can you guys see the question? Please,
Yes,
can you hear
we
me?
can.
Is
We
it okay
can.
from
We
your
can.
end?
Yeah,
Okay. I hope it's not that tiny.
it is better. I think we are good.
Okay. So now
Can still
let's go
read
now.
it.
So we have the what the question now. But let me hear from you guys first. So what do you think? Let's say evaluate each of the issues described above. So what are some of these things? What do you think? Just say something at least so that we can draft it together. How do you guys feel? Yeah, no. What do you think we should do here? What's the ethical issue? Should I send this out? Because it's just two things.
No, I think the advert, the content, I think it violates all the conditions for advertisement and publicity. All the things that have been stated that you should not do are contained in that advert. Much more safe because based on it, the content try to discredit other auditing
Yeah.
firms. It also try to you know lowball the engagement. Then what else? A lot of them. I can't even read them properly.
Oh no, sorry. Don't worry. Let me just let's try to know the words.
Okay, and as such, it has brought disrepute to the accounting profession because for you to do that kind of a thing, discrediting others shows that the regulatory body does not know what they are doing, and it transcends to all the actions that they've done.
Okay. Thanks so much. And Madam Yan, what do you think bad about this particular statement that they're about to publish on the newspaper? Can you also answer that as well? So I think
I would say they are not following the rules that ACCA has put in place regarding advertisements, most especially relating to the fee part, saying they will charge cheaper. Saying they will, yes, they said they will charge cheaper, and then the quality of service as well. So is against the conditions that are put in place regarding advertisements.
yeah.
Yeah. So they are saying they are, how would I put it? They are condemning other firm and putting
Yeah.
themselves like putting themselves out as the best and all.
Yeah.
Most especially relating to fee.
Yeah. Thanks so much, and thanks everyone as well. Even from this was first statement. I'm sorry that have you had what? Have you had enough of
Enough
your
of
work?
your accountant charging you too much.
So I think let's even let's pick it up from that part. So what I can do, okay, so let's say I can just say issue one, a few words. charging it so much. This is a wrong statement. So have you had enough? So I can just say that this is a what, this is a wrong, this is a wrong statement as it's what? As it bring discredit. Discredit. And put a what? A wrong image. So now we have another bit what accountant charging statement. This statement what? The statement is wrong. This is discredit the what? It's discredit. Service provider. Okay, so I think we can also watch. So I can say this is one because if you want to draft something like this, you can just put it this way. This is one. Another thing that we can also work now, you can go back as well and look at. Okay, this is also what another one that these are some of the issue that we are talking about. So you can just even sometime if you want to draft it in the words in the exam, you can just say, okay, just go back. This is it. Can I able to copy it or no? So what I can just do, you can just put it, oh, have you had enough? Then you write a little bit on what you write a little bit under it. Another one is what they also make mention of what I can remember they say comprehensive words. So is there any words? Is there any accountancy firm that come up with that? Comprehensive range of what? Range of service. You can also say this statement also discredit discredit. Another thing is I can even check how many directors they have. They say you have 30 partner of 10 are ACCA members. So what is the percentage? So if I say 30 divided by what? I'll be sorry, 10 divided by 30 and multiplied by what? 100. So that is like a 33%. So I claim that you are the what? You offer comprehensive what? Despite having just 33 what? 33, 33% ACA. 33%. So in the exam, sometimes if you calculate something, you can just put it in what? In bracket. How do you get it? This one is 10 divided by what? Divided by 33. Okay, so most comprehensive section, this statement also will discredit what the service provider, other service provider, which led what the public believe. They believe that.
Okay, I think it's 10 over 30.
Yeah, I think, sorry, I can be wrong. Is it? No, the total partner is 30. Okay, yeah, the total partner is 30 and they have 10 as ACCA. Oh, thank you. So that's like 33 word now, 33%. So, and you said that as well. So that is what one. We can also what? You can also take up another one as well. Another one which is even very, very bad is this tax. I think there's something about that tax. Where is it, sir? Look no further. We provide a comprehensive service and the leading tax name who are just to save you money. So that is also why that one is even my word. That can even be the number one. So leading what? Leading tax team. This discredit. Person leading. So that is the one you can what we can pick. This discredit or might be what the misleading word statement because leading is a word which needs to be proven here. We just was just 33 word, 33 partner. So another one I can also pick, you can also write waiting to what? Waiting to save you what? Waiting to save you money. So you can even say this one is against the public policy. Is there any government that will be what? This is, what? Inappropriate words. Mm, So I can also they also say another thing, cheaper than your cheaper than your existing what service provider. This statement and result in what? In low, and you make mention of this, not long. No points, or even result in, well, let's see. So that is also another thing that you can watch. We can also watch. They also make mention of what I think. Let's take this one last, then we'll move on. Free what? Abi? Let me check. So words. Where is it? So drop in and see us at your local ward for free consultation. Do you think a firm should do a free consultation? Let me hear from you guys. What do you think? Accountancy firm should do free consultation? Anybody? What do you think? If you have what? If you have an accounting firm now, what do you think? Is free consultation good? Just say something. Let me hear from you. Do you think it's bad?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of shows that you want to lobby or something.
Yeah,
Want to lobby to get the
to the job.
the contract.
Yeah, what do you think? Free consultation.
Hmm.
I've seen
Um,
I've seen some okay, this is not accountancy, this is a law firm shout. Let's say free consultation. So do you think a professional firm should do free consultation? Just think from your own personal experience. Do you think is it cool?
they can have a one-off from I think.
Yeah. But but how is it, what do
Any
you think could be the public perception on that?
anything free goes with low value. So
Are you sure?
when you make when you make it free like that, the firm will not be valid.
Yeah, because if I say what, I think maybe free consultation, like everybody will just like at least I like that your first statement in terms of like you are lobby to what for people to come in. So what do you think we
But
should say?
if they are, let's say for instance,
Mm,
if they are tendering for the
yeah,
first meeting, can they have like a free consultation? I
for
mean,
the
for the
first,
first meeting, just for you to prove yourself, you know.
no, that we are going for tendering. Most
When
of
the
the
Yeah.
time,
tendering is not done in their premises, I think the tendering is
yes,
done in
now
the
at the client office.
the
Client office.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the consultation is should be in their own.
Yes,
Okay,
it's going
yeah,
is
exactly.
so drop me. So wait, okay, I think waiting to save you money. Yeah, I think this I can say free words, free advice for all words. That's it for all new audit clients. What are some of the words? I don't even know how to say something here, but I can say okay for my own free. I don't think. Let me just say professional service. Yeah, I'll just say no words, no professional words, unless no professional service can be free. Because where do you want to charge the cost to? And another thing that can also come in is, there's an advice. The advice in terms of what this can create some advocacy. This can create some advocacy thread. Just at least whatever was, let's say even the client said that, oh, I have one litigation, and then maybe what it may be wrong, you'll be saying something else to defend them. And when you are doing such thing now, at least the way this company is behaving, at least there's always going to be advocacy because let's say for example now you offer a free consultation and you're really interested in getting a new client, then anything goes. If anybody is bringing any issue, then you just be like, okay, let me try to defend them that would they are right, which is not. So this one is going to be about when you promoting the word. You're promoting the client. business what business interest. So once you have the point, then the next thing that we need to do now is you just write a conclusion, because one of the things that they are requesting for now is, should they what? Are we going to send this statement out, or we should what? We should not. So finally, you can just say what after. If you still want to add any point to it, that's fine. You can just say conclusion now. So what do you feel? One is what is allowed to, yeah, allowed, because that's true. It's allowed to advertise, but let's reserve this advice. Okay, well, okay, so I think those are some of the things that we can take from words, we can take from here. That you are allowed, but you need to what? Unless you have to update, this draft that you have, but you don't do it at all, because there's a lot of words. There are even more that we did not even talk about. So drop me. Okay, I think we make mention of it. Still not sure. It's still what you can still what. So that statement still look what? Still look odd. So in the words in the exam, once a draft advert proposal is given to you this way, just look at it critically. It's a very simple area, but you have to be what, and majority of the time, once it's advert, it's not going to be right. You're always going to, it's not something that what, it's not something that you stress yourself to get the question or to pick what is wrong in advert. You see it because this is the draft. So there are some, even from the beginning, say, have you had enough? You can say, other statement is not one, is not right. You can see another one, poor quality service. That's, you're saying that to your colleague now, because it's one of your colleague that will do the tax. Okay. The business need a new kickstart. All those statements are not working. So these are how you words. You pick up the words you issue, then you explain it, then whatever your word, your conclusion is, then you can what, just submit, and that's cool. So please, any question or anything that would like to want to add to that as well? So that is on what, on advert. So there's sometimes another area in what in adverts is about logo. Restriction on what, on practice name and description. There's also another ACCA regulation. There are restriction on practice name and description and the use of what ACCA logo given in the words in the ACCA what rulebook. One, member description. Member of the ACCA, at least you are allowed to use the word, you are allowed to use it as it's certified word, CCA, certified, charter certified accountant, or just what certified what accountant, just say, I may use the word, may use the letter as well, if it use it full, or if you're a fellow, and you can use the word there. Those word description may not be used in the registered name of word of company. So meaning now you can't say what John Smith certified. For example, you may not set up a company called what John Smith. No. But John Smith can be a word. John Smith can be a chartered word accountant. But you can't have just me certified accountant what limited. But you can have, oh, John Smith CA, John Smith what ACCA, John Smith what FCCCA. So, but you can have something when you are doing your registration. Practice what description. Accountancy firm may describe itself as a firm of what of chartered accountant or a firm of what chartered accountant or an ACCA practice what provider that at least half of the partner. Don't forget that half of the partner must be what? Half of the partner or director are ACCA member. And before you can say that, oh, I'm a what? It means half. And the partner control at least 51%. So this organization that is saying what now? What are they saying? So I can say they're saying they offer comprehensive service. It's a lie. Because if you look at the word, the rule book now, the rule book is saying that for you to say that, okay, accountancy firm may describe themselves as a firm of chartered certified accountant, provided that at least half of the partner. So since you have what now? You have, I think, how many? You have what? You have 30 and just 10. So you can see now it's just 33. So if they shouldn't describe themselves as they shouldn't describe themselves as a famous certified accountant. So please don't forget. And the second one is that what those partner or director control at least 50% of the world of the voting rights under the firm partnership what agreement or whatever your memorandum or article of association is saying. The second one is that what a firm in which all partner are what ACCA member may use the description member of what and its professional word, sometimes on letter, maybe I'll there's some word, even some online, if you say their word, their paper, their A4 paper, they'll write it because it's allowed, you can do it. In a mix, in the case of a mixed firm where some partner are ACCA and other are member of what chartered accountants what body, the firm should not use the description. Because I can remember, at least in most, there are some environment whereby they have two accountancy provider. So there are some countries that was they have such, at least that maybe in Nigeria now, I think there's you have what you have ICAN, and you also have what ANA. I think in England as well, I think we have ACCA. We also have what Institute of Chartered Accountant of what England and what and we. So in a situation whereby you have to, okay, I have ACCA. I also have what Institute of Chartered Accountant of what England and we SAW. Then you may know words. You shouldn't use that word. Since because it will be misleading. And that's usually what there are some firms that they will just say, oh, firm of what chartered accountant. They won't put anything. Because there are some of their member that is what ACC and there are some of their member that belong to what ICA what W. Just like what maybe in Nigeria as well, we have ICAN, we have ANA and can have order. So in case of a mixture like this, some of the things you can just say firm of chartered accountant. That's all. Since this could be misleading, instead, they may print the following statement. The partner of this firm are member of either what. So at least this one is applicable to those in what's in England. There's a word that's so. So rather than you saying certified, and you can just say, oh, this firm is a firm of what chartered accountant, and this is known to the public as well. Oh, there are some of your members that belong to ACCA, and there are some of your members that belong to what ICAW. So that is that on that. And the last one is on what's name of practicing firm. Generally, member may practice under whatever name they want, but a practice name should be consistent with the dignity of the profession. A practice name should not be misleading, e.g., a firm should not trade as maybe professional accountant magazine, international accountant, if all is of it were in what in one country. PQ international accountant. and you don't have any word, there's no offshore. It's just what you're just only in words. Let's say, for example, you're just only in England, you're not in words in Scotland, so you're not international. Another one is what a party's name should not run the risk of being confused with the name of another firm. And that this one also works. I think even before you have your name, sir, just like in company registration, at least the first thing is what is the name search. So if there's a word, there's some time, maybe some of us will remember in our business law then, there's some time that your name, the reason why in a company name can be what can be disapproved. If there's going to be a conflict with the existing one, they will reject it. And I can remember then, I think when I was doing my words, there was a particular JNS I can remember then during my undergraduate. Now we are asked to register a company. So there was the first time that I want to register my company. Then I think I can't even remember the name now. And I think in Nigeria then it was what, how much do we CAC charge then? It was 500 naira that you do it. Well, I think this one is a business name, yes. So my school then is what it is required that everyone is to do entrepreneurship then. You have to go and register your word. You have to go and register your business. So the first time I do it because it's a word, I think it's a self-service. I pay 500. I think I use one name, they reject it. I have to was now draft another one and before they approve it. So some of these things that we are talking about here, the complaint house could have eliminated that already, sir, because they feel that what the name is going to be in conflict with the existing one, they will not even work, they will not even approve it for you. And that is what the initial step in complaint formation. And that's why at least in majority part of the country as well, at least in Nigeria, you can go to CAC website and check some of the register name before you send your own. Even in England, they have the company house. You can just go to their website and check, okay, is there any existing name? And the words you're able to see that, oh, this one is similar to my own, so that you're able to know how to draft it. Then the final one is the ACCA logo. A firm that has at least one ACCA member or partner may use the ACCA logo. Okay, ACCA logo should be separated from the firm. Yeah. And another one is the position, the size, and the color of the ACCA should be chosen so that it is clearly recognizable. The logo can be downloaded from the website. So these are just regulations from the ACCA in terms of what you can use the logo, can add your own as well, just like, and the name is also very, very is also very, very important. So from your previous past question, I think I'll send another one whereby some of us can have a look at it. It's usually your what is on this area. Don't forget the rule. They will draft it. You are not going to be the one. You're not the one that's going to draft it. So they will draft it for you. So it's now for you to know, okay, those statements, is it what? Is it correct or is not what? Is not correct. All right. So it's usually a very simple exercise. You got to make it easy. So your fees is also a very important thing. How do you want to charge? So ACCA also provides some guidelines when it comes to charging your fees. And one is what minimize ACCA rulebook section 3 to this contain what the numbers of important provision in relation to fees in order to minimize the public possibility of what disputes between members and their client and ensure that what the member behave at all time in accordance with the fundamental ethical principle. So it is still what when it comes to fees, it's still what the firm that have the overall responsibility to determine how much you are going to charge. But one thing that what the regulation usually look at from here is you should not have like one important client. Like, what's the percentage? I can't remember. I think it's 15% of your total revenue. One client should not be I think it's 15. Let me even check. So it should not be contributing high percentage. Just like, for example, even from a strategic point of view as well, it is not good for you to depend on one. It's not good for you to depend on one client. Because what about if they fail? What about if that customer were bankrupt or something happened or It is now what? It is under the government now. So what are you going to do? So the regulation is just about please don't have what? A single client. Oh, our revenue is coming from this. Because sometimes you can have what? Because you can be doing a lot of service. You can be doing audits. You can be doing what? Maybe advisory service for them as well. And they are contributing a lot. And that is one of the reasons that some of us will remember on this particular US company, Aaron. Aaron was audited by what? By Anderson there. And Aaron contributes a large amount of what? Of revenues to this particular what? Accountancy firm. And as a result of that, as a result of you receiving a large amount of money from them, you may not be able to want to tell them the right thing, and at the end of the day, the company failed. So these are some of the words. These are some of the issue when it comes to what. Don't just have a word, a high word, a single client that is contributing to the word to the majority of your revenue. And that's why, as an accountancy firm, you need to try as much as possible to continue to work to add new service. To add new service. Oh, there's an AI now. There's a cyber security. Even I can remember, I think it's in US. There's a KPMG was like a legal firm now, different from the accountancy. I think maybe in California or one state in what in US. Now, it's still practicing under the word the KPMG brand, but they're basically what specialize in the words in the law. But at the end of the day, everything will still be consolidated together as KPMG International. So another thing when it comes to what to fees is about low billing. There's nothing like the regulation does not discredit that. But please don't do a what? Don't do a poor job. You should please do a what? Just do a what? Do a good job. That's just what the most important thing. Just do a what? Just do a good job. Whatever the amount that you're charging, at least you are the one that can that can determine that you are the one that knows the reason why you're doing it. But from the regulation perspective, please don't do a what? Don't do a bad job. You should always do a what? A good one. That is our own word. That is our own concern from this particular area of what now? Low billing. Contingency what fees is not what is not advisable. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. That's why you can see it's in yellow. ACCA position is that fees should not be charged on the percentage or maybe on contingency or similar, meaning that, oh, maybe if you help the client to reduce their what, their tax liability, you are going to say that, oh, you pay me 10% of that. You shouldn't charge client based on, when we say something is contingency, it's like maybe. So maybe if you win something for them, or if you're able to get them through one, but they are not listed, you can say, oh, you are going to pay me so amount. No, no, no. Fees should not be charged on contingency. That is just it. You shouldn't charge fees on contingency. Whatever your fees is, it should not be on percentage. That it's going to be 10% of this, 10% of that, or maybe 10% if something so things occur, if certain what events occur. No, you shouldn't do that. So please, what's the purpose of it talking about all these theoretical parts? So that is when you come across something like that in the exam, you're able to identify that, this thing is this thing is not right. Just like the way you pick up what adverts now. So when you read the statement, or maybe examiner paraphrase it in another way. So you just be mindful that, this thing is not right. It shouldn't be based on what percentage. It shouldn't be based on if certain event what occur. And on the last one here is about what referral. I think I make mention earlier as well. You don't charge for referral. Maybe for example now, you introduce my firm to your organization now. Then let me say for example, and let's say it relates to my own unit, then you now asking that, what's if you want if you want me to refer, you are going to pay me so amount. So, but some of us remember, like especially all these maybe especially utility, at least there was a word, there's a particular word, there's a particular fintech bank I have, and I think they can give a referral bonus. They used to advertise, but I've never win that thing before. Like for example, if I'm using that bank now and I send it to Madam Easy now, and you're performing transaction on them, it's like they will give me a certain amount. That is from the word from the company. And most commercial organization would usually would pay amount of that. Oh, if you refer someone now, like for example, now I send my link to you guys, and you guys maybe you join and you are using that particular platform, some of them can encourage that, okay, maybe they are going to pay me a certain amount of what you guys are transacting with. So in accountancy, that is not allowed. So any referral fees is not what it's not permissible. It's not permissible. You don't charge it and you don't pay. So if you want to refer my company now, you should base at your what at your free will. It should be based on what on my performance, or maybe what due to interpersonal relationship that we have before, but not on having to pay you any amount, or me having to pay you any amount as a result of me winning that particular what contract. Okay. So when you're determining your words, your fees, there's a lot of things that you want. There's a lot of things that we'll take into consideration when determining fees. And one of the most important things that we look at from audit perspective is the size of the organization. The size of the word of the organization. Organization that is very, very wide, is very, very big, then we are going to watch. If we even look at their word, if you look at their payroll, yeah, you can have a payroll count of what, maybe around more than 5,000 more than 5,000 staff. So when we are determining our fees that, oh, this particular engagement, this is the so amount that we are going to charge. What are some of the factors that will determine that? Member are entitled to charge a fair and reasonable fees for their service. This amount will be the fees considerable appropriate for you to do that particular task. Fees in accordance with with the basis that you agree with the client. Fees by reference to any custom in a certain specialized area. Maybe there are some jurisdictions that will say that, oh, if you do this particular task, this is the minimum wage. Just like, for example, now, if you employ someone now, they can say, oh, you should not pay less than let's say 100,000 in a month. You should not pay less than, so there are some jurisdictions that can have a certain amount that you should not pay below. So if that is in place, you just need to make sure that you're not fall short of any regulation. But the ACCA or the accountancy body now does not have control over the fees, but it is left for the firm to decide which one is appropriate for which one is appropriate for you. So member will usually consider the following matter in setting. What is the seniority? That's one thing that we consider as well. Or how many senior manager? How many partner are we going to have? How many wards manager are we going to have? How many ward associate? So just like if you make mention earlier that, oh, we are doing one audit now, and it's going to take us 2 months. So during that 2 months, at least you guys know what IS 16 is what it's saying. Since I'm working on that particular engagement now, then my salary should be capitalized to that particular audit. So if we discover that, oh, senior manager, how much is your salary? The associate, how much is your salary? By the time you consolidate everything together, let's say it's 50,000 for the next 2 months. So this one would be the determinant of how much I'm going to have the client to pay. And the time that is going to that you're going to spend as well. At least in professional firm, we give consideration of you booking your time. And that's one of the most things, very, very important. You need to book your time. Now, booking your time in terms of, okay, what are you working with? Oh, I'm working on maybe national grade for as an example. Then maybe my 37 hours in a week now should go to this. Because just like if you remember in management accounting, there's already a predetermined rate. Now for maybe 1 hour now, maybe it should be It should be 2,000. So if my 37 hours for the week now is from this particular engagement, and then the whole of 37 multiplied by 2,000 should go here. In terms of what you do the capitalization, you recharge to that particular engagement. So the time, the overhead expenses as well. Maybe if I want to print, at least some of us, if you can remember in your organization, you have some complex word printer. Complex printer in terms of what, even before you print, it will ask you that, oh, what is it meant for? You have to take your card and what and clock in on the printer before it will allow you to print. And even sometimes I can remember in KPMG then, if I even want to print, it will even ask which engagement is that particular word print for. Okay, I can say that, oh, it's for this particular so client. So if I print what 2 copy now, 2 page, then the cost of that 2 page should go to what? Should go to that word, should go to that particular engagement. So that is that. And sometimes you can have a what? A fixed fee quotation. And there's some engagement whereby it will be based on time. There's some engagement that it will be fixed. That, oh, it is 10,000, you pay us 10,000. And there are some that will be what? Based on time. And most of that one can be other service. Let's say, for example, now we are doing what? Modeling for them. Or maybe we are doing some system reward, we are checking how resilient their system is. So that one, most of the time, it will be based on time. So what we'll do is, if I have worked for like 5 hours now, then there's already a predetermined rate that we agreed that, oh, my 1 hour is going to be 20 naira. So if I work for what, if my 1 hour is 20 naira now, and I work for 37 hours, then I will bill the client this. So there are some contract that is going to be okay based on time that we have worked. There are some engagement that is even going to be like this one, they are not audits. Let's say, for example, now we are representing them to meet, or maybe we are preparing something for them that they are going to need. So it's going to be based on my time. Or let's say, for example, I'm representing them. Like, for example, now, let's say I'm presenting something on their behalf. Let's say, for example, now there's a business plan. So if there's a word now, if there's a business plan, and let me not say, okay, it's like a business plan. And sometimes the regulator will also ask that, okay, how do you prepare this word? How do you prepare this plan? Then you as my practitioner, you can also come to that meeting and say that, oh, it was prepared by what? It was prepared by the social complaint. You can even do a presentation on what on our behalf. So if I attend the meeting, that's when I'll charge you. If I don't attend the meeting, I will not charge you. And there are some that is going to be fixed. There are some that is going to be favorable. So all this fix is basically on the words. It's basically on what you have in the contract. So there are some that is fixed, especially all this is usually fixed. Oh, it is what? 50 million, you pay us 50 million. And there are some engagement that is hourly rates. But hourly rate is usually what applicable to non-assurance engagement, non-audit service. That is when we used to use the word hourly rates. So what we agree with the client is our predetermined rate, our 1 hour, and the predetermined rate is we can have associate rates. If associate work on that, we can have the AD, then we can have the partner. So maybe the associate, we can say that, oh, our own is 44. Then maybe the associate director, our own is what? Let's say our own can be 150. And let's say the partner, our own is what? It can be 300. So sometimes the partner may not work, then it will be dash. Maybe the associate director work for 5 hours. We'll put 5. Maybe the associate work for what? Let's say 37 hours. Then this is what we are going to be the client. So what we agree with them is what we agree with the rates, and there's also going to be evidence available to them that, oh, we are doing this task, and we're able to tell them, okay, this is the hours that we use and this is the rates. So if it is non-audit, we usually use hourly rate is very, very popular. But for audit, it's usually what is usually fixed. But it depends on the contract as well. So before you accept, please, this is a matter that you need to consider. And we're almost done. This is a matter that you need to consider before you say yes. Before you accept anyone, before you accept any engagement, please, these are words. You can see how comprehensive it is. Before you accept, please consider this thing. Consider this also word factor. Your independence and objectivity. I hope anything is not going to affect it. What about the management integrity? You need to consider that. So, is the client engaged in anything that is against the public policy? Are they engaging in what, in money laundering? Or any activities that is against the public policy? You check that. Do you have the available resources? Is the resources there? The next thing is, what about the risks? How do you want to manage risks? And that's what we are going to be discussing when we get to planning. How do you want to manage risk? Because to be honest with you, audit is all about risks. Audit is all about what? Audit is all about risks. So how do you want to manage risks? How do you want to set your fees? It's left for you guys. But are you guys competent enough to deliver the work? What about the reputation of the client? And is the precondition for the audit in existence? Precondition is that what? What about the financial reporting framework? And is there understanding of each of the party? The precondition is that, oh, what is the framework? And the second thing is that what? Both the management, both you and the management, do you guys understand your respective tasks? The management, did they approve it? Did they know? No, I'm not to detect fraud. You hold the number. So there has to be the precondition, a clear understanding from these two parties. Then the applicable the applicable financial reporting that we're going to use. Then one of the most important things is the professional clearance. And this professional clearance is usually it's from two directions. First of all, you seek the client permission. You seek the client permission. You seek the client permission. Oh, especially if they have previous auditor before that. Oh, I noticed that this is so what company is your auditor. Then I'll send a message to the client that I want to contact because my regulation require me to seek professional clearance. So you inform you inform the client that, oh, I'm asked to do so things. Okay. Once the client give you approval, then you send a mail to the previous auditor. Then before the previous auditor will to reply you also send a mail to the client. Oh, I received a mail from so company. They are trying to I should share some information with them. Then the client will reply the existing auditor, or sometimes we call it the outgoing auditor. That, oh, he's my new auditor. Please respond to any query that I have. Then before the outgoing auditor will now reply the new auditor. So it's usually like a 6-way. You, the new auditor, and we have the outgoing auditor. Then we have the client. The new auditor, you first of all contact your client. Once the client give you approval, then you contact the outgoing auditor. Then the outgoing auditor will also do what? It will contact the client. Then the client will reply the client will reply the outgoing auditor before the outgoing auditor will now reply us. Now, my question now is, what about if the client refuses to give me the permission to contact their auditor? What do you think you would do? Anybody, just think of it. You're in a situation whereby the professional would require you to seek a professional clearance. And the first thing that you're going to do is you need to send a mail to your new client that, oh, I want to contact your existing auditor, the outgoing auditor. Let's not say, for example, the client refused to give you that permission. What do you think you will do? Anybody? Just think of it now. What do you think you do? And what is the reason why they can say that, oh, don't contact our previous auditor? Anybody?
I think you have to decline because it shows that they are probably the previous auditor is resigned based on some ethical issues.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay, some ethical issues like what?
Probably maybe they've executed. Oh, maybe resign. Maybe something like a management threat or maybe intimidation or something coming from the company.
Okay, Madam Yanundo, can you say something? What do you think would be the reason why the client said, oh, don't contact the outgoing auditor? Why? Why do you think so? And let me tell you something. If they refuse, the regulation is that what? You should know what?
Should not accept the
You should not accept the
The
engagement.
engagement.
engagement. Yes.
Yeah. If
No,
they
and
were
because
if they refuse to give you that permission, say what? You should know what? The practice is that what? You should not accept that engagement. And to be honest, I can't even think of what a situation like that. But it's, if it is possible, if it occurs, they say you should know what. Say you should not. You should not accept. So the precondition, which is the first thing, these are the precondition. The precondition is what they understand that they are going to be the one that will prepare the word. The precondition of an audit is that the management acknowledge and understand their responsibility. Responsibility in what way? You prepare the financial statement. You set up what internal control. You provide what? Provide auditor with the access to all information and explanation. It's not at all about saying that, oh, it is in your SharePoint, or you give me the word, you show us the link, or you download the document and send it to us. No, that's not enough. You also need to what? You also need to provide auditor with the explanation that is required. So these are the precondition. Management acknowledge, you prepare, you set up internal control, you provide us explanation. Now, I think we have talked about this from the professional word, from the professional career. So there are a lot of work and there are a lot of reasons why the firm can, before you accept, there's a lot of matter, and these are some of them. Clearance, precondition. You look at the reputation of the firm as well. You don't want to associate with what? You don't want to associate with a bad organization. And we also need to make sure that we check our competency as well. And we are competent, so that one is not what. But the competence should come from in terms of what? The composition of the word of the engagement team. Because we cannot be what? Let's say, for example, now this particular client is in what? Is in, let's say, a commercial bank now. And a commercial bank, one of the critical items, or let me say a critical standard in their financial reporting is financial instrument, IFRS 9. So the team must be what? You must set up a team that will have that competence in as their keyword standard. We can't be going for what for audit of a client in what? In telecom now. If it is in telecom, one of the most critical assets is their what? Is IFRS 16. A telecom company will have a lot of leaves. So even based on their nature of business, we will also determine the composition of the composition of the audit team. Or if it is in insurance now, we know that that's IFRS 17. So the competence here is from we as the audit firm, and it has to do with what it's not everybody, at least just like to be honest, we can't know everything, and that's sure. But there are some standard that we all work, we all familiar, we are very, very good at and all that. So if you know you're well, someone that is competent in what in leases, then you put in that, oh, please check their fixed asset register. If you are competent in what 16 is what he's saying, then you should also be part of the fixed asset team. So, and these fees, how are we going to see it? It should be what? It should be clearly what stated in the what in the engagement. Oh, this is how much we are going to charge, and this is the basis. How are we going to manage risks is our responsibility. Do we have the enough resources is our responsibility as well. Are we sure that the client is not engaging in any what money laundering or any activities that is against the public policy is our responsibility. Have we done the assessment of the management integrity? And there's a particular what software we used to use then, whereby once you do what, just like
This was
most of the
Citibank.
HR usually use it, Nasha, to do what? To do background check. So once you put your name and especially your date of some organization will do it, doing when it comes to this management integrity, they will do it as part of their recruitment process about just to do some background check. Even sometimes now they even what some will even extend it to your words, to your social words, to your social media or check just to make sure that what we are really relating with the world with the right set of word of people. So, and these are the words, these are the matters that you as the auditor you need to what you need to consider when you are accepting what engagement, and you need to send the engagement letter out, and I think that's the final part, and what is going to be the content and engagement letter can be what. And the purpose, I think I have one. I'm going to send it after this class now. Just you guys what you're not drafting it, but just for you guys to what to just see it. And I'm sure that some of us could have come across it before. So let me first if I forget. So engagement what? Engagement letter. Engagement letter. So what is the purpose is to minimize risks of misunderstanding because engagement letter will specify, oh, as the auditor, this is your responsibility. As the management, this is your this is your responsibility. So once we now have words, that's one of to confirm acceptance because the engagement letter will be sent by the what? The engagement letter will be sent by the auditor, then what we'll send it to the what? We'll send it to the client. So confirmation word is confirm acceptance once they sign it off. It set out the terms and conditions. Those are some of the purpose of words of engagement letter. And what are the content? I think I've just forwarded one to the group chat now, so you guys should be able to see it. Whereby, what is the objective? Is the content, the responsibility of the auditor, the responsibility of the management? What is the applicable financial reporting framework? So, especially what as the auditor, what are you going to do? The management, what do we expect? What framework are we using? We use this. What regulation are we going to use? So these are the applicable, the responsibility of the auditor, the responsibility of the management, the reference to the expected form and content of any report. Basically, we want to give you a good report. That's just it. We want to give you a clean audit a clean audit report. A clean report that will show that the financial statement shows shows a true and fair view. And that's why most of us can be thinking that, most financial statement, at least this is an advanced class. And that expectational gap could have been eliminated. Whereby at least people will believe that, it's the auditor to detect fraud, is the auditor to do this. No, it's not the auditor. So, but at least some people will say that, all the financial statement shows a true and fair view, but maybe within a year, the company will collapse. It's not it's not the responsibility of the auditor. At least if some of us remember, especially in the US, in the first quarter of 2023, a lot of US companies would fail, and their audit report is what is clean. So it's not the auditor responsibility. So I think that is what. And after you watch, the final one is on acceptance. Is it a new fame or is it what outgoing? And as the outgoing auditor, please, whatever any book, unless if they are owing you. So if you are the outgoing auditor, even one word, there's also particular regulation whereby, these are just a theory part, whereby you are the new auditor now, you should not accept or you should not even start the new engagement if they are owing your colleague previously. So meaning now that if the client is yet to pay the previous auditor, they are still owing, then I think the rule is that don't start till the outgoing auditor is fully compensated. And there's also a rule that to the outgoing auditor, if they are still owing you, there's no need of you. There are some documents. If you still have some of the words, the organization document, then you have a right to withhold it. On ceasing to hold office, the outgoing firm should return all books and paper belonging to their client, which in their possession, except where the firm claim to exercise the right of near or other security in respect of unpaid fees. So please, if they are still owing, but if they are not owing, any books and paper that belong to the client, you need to return it. Now, this is for the outgoing. The new auditor, you make sure that the previous auditor is properly the outgoing auditor has vacated office in a correct manner. They have been properly appointed. Oh, you are there's an AGM, there's a board meeting that said that, oh, we appoint you. If they appoint you legally, then the next thing that you as the new auditor coming in now, the new firm coming in, you must make sure that your previous colleague, the outgoing auditor, is properly removed from office. And lastly now, to the outgoing firm, you need to make sure you do what? You return all books that belong to the client, except if there's unpaid fees, they are still owing you. And there's also another regulation, which is finally now, the new thing that is coming. You don't start the engagement unless the outgoing auditor is properly removed and any outstanding fees has been fully paid to him. So it's not as if you are going to see a question like this that directly says, oh, what is the role of the new auditor? What are some of the duties of the outgoing auditor? Like just in a theoretical part, no. It's only at least some of us are used to your past question already. So, but these are some of the things that we'll be looking for in that particular scenario. And when we come in the next week by God grace, at least before then, I'll send some of the practice question on other area of practice management that we can look at. Then we can now start with the key aspect of the syllabus, which is syllabus section C, which is planning. And planning will really take a lot of work. Planning will really take a lot of time, because that's why your number one question is usually very sad about weeks. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for your attention. I do appreciate that. So please, is there any words? Is there any question I'd like to ask? It's more of theory, but it's really very important. Is there any question I'd like to ask, please? So if there's not any question, thank you so much, and do words to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Bye.